We're back. So we just did our energy exchange and we found out that the energy that the collective would most benefit from having cleared today was the energy of hate. Ouch. And that the energy we were going to be calling in its place was laughter. Yay. We love that. We love laughter. Laughter fixes so many things. But what we do now is we look at the root of that hate, because once we find the root, it's easier for us to pull it up, pull it out, destroy it, get rid of it. And then we look at any blocks we may have to our laughter, to that sense of laughter, the feeling of laughter, the energy of laughter. So that's what you and I are going to do together right now. And yes, it's daylight. Miracle of miracles. I'm actually able to do this during the daytime, which we love. Okay, so I'm going to try really hard not to get distracted by the numerous squirrels that are hanging out in my backyard right now. I do enjoy watching them. Maybe someday I'll just have a squirrel cam. Would y'all like to see a squirrel cam? Because we know how we love our squirrels. They're just the cutest. I don't know what to say about it. I just love them. So, okay, we're done talking about squirrels now. We're going to talk about hate. We're going to look at the root of this hate. So the first thing that I did was I prepped to work. So you might be saying like, I mean, yeah, how does this even work? What am I doing? What is dowsing? What is spiritual response technique? You know, it's awesome. It's really cool. And it's also really wild. So basically, before I got started doing the energy exchange, I prepped to work, which is just my prayer and my intention that my higher self is going to be able to talk to your higher self through our collective consciousness, through our collective awareness, through the light of source, through the light of all creation, which we all share in. And I'm going to be able to find some information and then say some prayers, bring some things up for all of us to look at, be aware of, and work on. Because when we bring something up into our conscious awareness from the subconscious, from the world of the shadow, then we have so much more power and control to be able to do something about it. You know, because doesn't that make sense sometimes? Like, I'll be driving home from work and I'll be carrying on to an energy and I'll be like, why am I feeling crappy? Why am I holding on to this energy? And it's like something that if you don't know why you're feeling that way, it's kind of hard to move it, to release it, to let it go. And so that's a beautiful thing about SRT. Like I can find the root. And then once you find the root, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm feeling this way because XYZ. Now that I know I feel this way because of XYZ, I can do something about it. And maybe it's I address it with the person who's hurt me. I can remove something from my life that is instilling this feeling in me that I don't like. Or maybe I can just take some responsibility for my own crap and I can say, I need to change my mindset. My mindset, my belief systems are yucky and outdated. I can take some responsibility in changing that and releasing myself from that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our chart 1 and we're going to say, what is the root of this hate? What is the root of this hate that we're feeling right now? 6A, well, that is the icky energy. What is the root of this hate? Hate of life. So we're hating life. It's not just hate in general, it's hate of life. Hate of life. And so let's go to chart 18 because that's what it's telling me, because I don't feel fully satisfied with that answer. Okay, is this mental or physical? Blocks to our physical expression. That's what it says. So we're hating life. So it's not just hate, it's hating life. So we're not hating a person, we're not hating a thing, we're hating life. We're hating our existence. We're hating having to be here. We're hating having to show up every day into this life. Why? Because we're blocked to physically expressing ourselves. So we're blocked to physically expressing ourselves. Wow. Okay. Is there anything else? I just find this fascinating. So is there anything else you can tell us specifically about this not physically expressing ourselves? So what is going on there? And I go to chart 31. This is about our role as our own creator, as our own creator. Divine plan is what just came up. So we are not physically enacting our own divine plan. For some reason, we're blocked to physically manifesting our own divine plan. And that is what is creating this hate of life. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is sad, but beautiful, but so telling. And I get this, right? Like anytime in my life, I have felt blocked to my purpose, my path, my passion. I hate my life. I'm like, no, this sucks. Look at that shadow that's being created. I have a new holder here to try to not just use the random crap I have in my house, but it's creating like the perfect shadow of my cell phone. Is that distracting? I'm distracted by it, but this is a good clearing, so we're just gonna let it be what it is. You're just gonna have to see the shadow of my cell phone. From an aesthetic level, I hate that. I'm an artist. I hate bad aesthetics, but you know, spirit clear it. Spirit clear me from my distractions by bad aesthetics. Okay, so this is beautiful. I love this. So let's look at what we can do to unblock ourselves to our divine plan. What can we do to unblock ourselves from physically expressing and physically acting out our divine plan? Is this soul retrieval or is this soul retrieval? Whew. Where'd your soul go? I've been thinking a lot about this actually this week. I've been having these memories of certain times in my life where I dissociated. And I don't know if you all know like that term or how that term relates to you. Maybe you've heard it in different like settings or capacities. But I was specifically thinking about one time I was in a really, really, really bad relationship, and it was so bad. Like I can't even tell you how bad this was. It was so bad. And I remember going into the bathroom to throw up because it was like such a bad relationship, and there was this chaos that was going on, and there was this conflict that was going on, and I was really young and I couldn't handle it. So I went to the bathroom to throw up because it was like so overwhelming, but then I dissociated. So it was like I was throwing up. So I saw myself as my body throwing up, but then I also was my body standing watching myself throwing up going, well, huh, isn't this interesting? Ah, wow, that girl right there she's really going through it. That's interesting. But oh, luckily I'm over here. I'm safe over here because that's her. She's going through that, not me. And that's dissociating, right? When you literally split, you no longer are the being inside of your body. You're this other being watching the being inside of your body do the thing that it's going through. And so I'm just calling for healing and release of anybody who may have had to dissociate at some point, which then prevented them from acting out their true life purpose and their true path, and then block their physical expression, right? Because when you're dissociated and you're over here and your body is over here, like with its own little avatar now operating for you, and here's your soul over here, but your body now has an avatar because your soul's like, I don't want this. I don't want to be in this avatar right now because this is bullshit. This is icky. This is yucky. I don't want to be inside of this avatar, so I'm going to come out over here. But now this avatar is operating without the connection of your soul. This avatar is operating with some other kind of, I don't even know what, operating it. And maybe it's an essence of your soul. Maybe it is a guide that your soul sent over to help protect your avatar while your soul disconnected and stayed over here away from that situation, whatever it may be. But we're just doing this, I'm just verbally saying we're doing a soul retrieval now for anybody who's had to dissociate because life was so hard, life was so icky, you were so overwhelmed, you were so traumatized that your soul left your body because it could no longer handle what it was going through. We clear and release that for you now so your soul can safely come back into this avatar and be present. And then that allows your soul to act out the beautiful life that you are meant to have. You're meant to have a beautiful life, but you need your soul to be engaged with your avatar to complete that mission, to complete that purpose, to complete that passion. So we're clearing and releasing all of us now from any time we've had to dissociate and send our soul away. We're calling our soul back now. Wow. Well, that was intense. I wasn't planning on doing that today. Okay, so what else can we do here to recover, redeem, resolve, release our soul from any ickiness that caused it to retreat, caused it to abdicate responsibility of the physical body because it could no longer handle what it was going through? Release anger at all levels. Well, here we go, right? The energy we were releasing was hate, and now we're releasing anger at all levels. Whoever you're angry at, forgive them now. Forgive yourself. You know, it doesn't mean that you are okay with what the person did to you. It doesn't mean you're okay with the situation. It doesn't mean that you're not still hurt, sad, frustrated. But you can release the anger that you have over what happened to you. I did that last night when I was going through these memories of these times where I had to dissociate because my life was so hard and the situation was so traumatic. I cried. So last night I was just like crying and releasing it all because I was really hurt and I was really angry, and I let a lot of that go. Does it mean that it's, you know, perfect now? No, this will probably influence me. The impact of that trauma will probably influence me for the rest of my life, but I have so much more control over it now. And now I can just like lay down in my bed and cry versus like make bad choices. Because before, the trauma and the dissociation of my soul led me to make bad choices. Well, now I'm not making bad choices. I'm just knowing that when I'm in a grumpy mood and I'm angry and I'm hurt, I have to cry. I have to let it go. I have to release it through my body. And that's the other thing, y'all. Like, we're doing these energy exchanges, which is really, really great. And the breath work is really, really great. But I cannot tell you how then coupling that with movement is going to change your life. So part of the release that happened last night, part of the reason I was able to find that dissociation, find that painful memory, find that trauma, was because I was rolling around on the ground, stretching. I was like, and I was like moving my body. I was doing a little dancing. I was doing a little release. And that's when all of a sudden the memory came back when I was moving my body. And then my body was like, oh, here's this. For me, it was in my esophagus. It was like, your esophagus, the day that that happened, the day that you vomited because you were so traumatized, the day that you dissociated and took your soul and exited your body, your esophagus hasn't let that go. Your esophagus is still literally tight from the moment that that happened. And so I found that tightness when I was stretching, and then I recalled the memory of when that happened, and then I allowed that memory to release out my body. So somatic work is amazing for trauma. You know, it's so common for us when we're going through trauma to just freeze, to get stuck, to not want to move our body. And I have been such a victim of that. I spent the last 6 months having horrible neck and back pain, and I froze. I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to look at it. I wanted my chiropractor to fix it. I wanted my body work guy to fix it. I wanted somebody other than me to fix it. And then I realized this last 2 weeks, girl, only you can fix this, because this is a result of your pain and your trauma that you haven't released and let go of. So that's what I've been working on. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't still see your body work person and your chiropractor and your healers and your therapists. But there is a level of involvement you have to have in your own healing. Like, it's mandatory. It's mandatory. You cannot go and expect to take a couple of pills and feel better. You have to engage in your own healing. It's the only way, especially when you've dissociated, especially when you've sent your soul away to not have to deal with the trauma of this present life. Only you can call your soul back. I mean, I can help you by saying these words, but you got to participate in this process with me. Okay, so have we cleared the roots? I'm just gonna ask a yes or no. Have we cleared the root? Yes. Did you see? So at first it said a no, because I wasn't really paying attention. But then when I looked down on my pendulum and I asked the question, then my pendulum was like, yeah, you've cleared the root. See, I mean, you can see it's saying yes, yes, yes. So now we're going to ask, what percent have we blocked? This is going to be a longer video. Sorry, y'all. So what percent have we blocked to our laughter? So 0%. So I think it's because we just cleared a lot of stuff. And what percent are we open to our laughter? 0%. Okay, so that's what we need. So that's beautiful. We're not blocked. There's no external factor blocking us to our laughter. There is no external thing blocking us to our laughter. It's all an internal thing. We have to just be open to it. Oh, that shadow pissing me off. Okay, anyway. All right, so now what do we have to do to open ourselves up to our laughter? So go to chart 12. Go to chart 12. So our opening ourselves up to our laughter, loss of hearing God. That makes so much sense. That's why I smiled. It's not like I'm happy that we had a loss of hearing God. It just, in my mind, it makes so much sense. I'm like, oh yeah, when you hear God, of course you can access your laughter. You can access your joy. I mean, because again, to me, God is the squirrels. God is in the trees. God is in the sunshine that's shining down on me right now. God is in my cup of coffee. God is in the Christmas tree with all the sparkly lights and the dangles that are hanging in your living room right now. God is in hilarity. God is in laughter. Laughter is God. And when we recognize that, and we recognize and we start to hear and see God in everything, we will be way more open to our laughter, because we stop taking ourselves so seriously and we stop seeing life as this horrible thing that is against us, and we start seeing life as the beautiful opportunity we have to experience the most insane joy and pleasure that you can possibly imagine, and that I think happens in a human body. Part of why we come into a human body is to be able to experience the most intense joy and laughter that you can possibly imagine. Pleasure and ecstasy, all of those things. That's why we are dropping down as souls into these human bodies. Yes, in part, we also then have to experience trauma and things that make us want to dissociate, but also we get to experience the other side of that other coin, which is joy, laughter, ecstasy, pleasure, mind-blowing experiences, sensual experiences in the human body. You can't have one without the other. You can't have mind-blowing sensual experiences in the human body and not also experience pain. The problem is when we take that pain and we dissociate, we exit, we don't deal with it, we become a victim, we allow it to shift our mindset. And that's something that now I know for me, as I've done all this healing, I don't do that anymore. Now when I experience pain, I experience the pain, I release it, I let it go, and I don't dissociate. I stay here in this present moment and I say, okay, this person's causing me pain. I'm not going to dissociate so I can keep dealing with this person. I'm going to get this person out of my life because I have power and control. And that's what I was crying about last night. I was crying for the 19-year-old girl who didn't know how to get out of that situation and didn't know how to end that relationship. I wasn't crying for me today. I was crying for her. And, when you are blocked to your physical expression, that means you're blocked to getting yourself out of bad situations. And that's what we're clearing today as well. We're clearing your inability to get yourself out of bad situations. We're clearing your inability to release yourself from people, circumstances, relationships that are not in your highest good and that are causing you trauma and potentially, again, causing you to dissociate. And once you're dissociated, again, entities can take over your form. Entities can take over your avatar. Bad energy can take over your avatar. When we abdicate responsibility for our physical form, all sorts of nasty things can happen. And we're more likely to make bad decisions, which then keeps this pattern rotating, keeps us in this cycle of trauma, dissociation, trauma, dissociation, trauma, dissociation. That was the other thing I was thinking about last night. Once I dissociated, I just kept dissociating. I just kept distancing my soul from my avatar, distancing my soul from my avatar. Every single time for those freaking 10 years of my life, I allowed that trauma to happen. I allowed that shattering to happen. My soul got further and further and further and further away from my avatar, which meant I had less and less control over my actions, which meant I just kept making the same bad decision over and over and over again. And that's what I want to clear for you right now. You don't have to keep making the bad decision over and over and over again. Your soul is safe to come back into this avatar because you have the power and the authority to change your life and to get people out of your life who are traumatizing you and treating you like crap. You do, even if it's hard, even if it's painful, even if it means you have no one left in your life right now, because you got to clean house, you got to get rid of everybody. It's okay. You can rebuild, you can do better. What you can't do is stay inside of an avatar that you were so separated from because you were constantly making bad decisions that wound and injure and hurt that being that you are. So, wow, okay. This was not an expected clearing today. I had no idea we were going to get into it this hard. Okay, 8B, but then I never do, and I never know, and it's beautiful. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself. This is for you. This is not for anyone else. I forgive myself for every time I betrayed myself. I forgive myself for every time I let someone take advantage of me. I forgive myself for every time I stayed in a relationship because of my attachment wounds. I forgive myself for every time I dissociated from my body. I forgive myself for every time I hurt somebody else because of my own pain and my own trauma. And I love myself now. And I can laugh with myself over all the things that have happened and for all the good things that I know are coming my way. Spirit clear it. Okay, now what percent are we open to our laughter? 100%. Spirit, is there anything else in this chart you want us to see today? Anything else on this chart you want me to draw some attention to for especially for our loyal watchers? I know I don't have a lot of followers, but the ones that I do have are freaking amazing, and I really love and appreciate you all. Hidden curses. So we're clearing any hidden curses that might have happened in this or any realm, in this or any lifetime, in this or any reality, where we said or were told or were given this idea that we did not have full control over our physical form, over our decisions, over our actions, and over who was coming into our life. Release ourselves from any curse that said that we were going to have nothing but pain and trial and trauma in relationship. And we release ourselves from any curse, known or unknown, written or unwritten, that is blocking us from our laughter, that is blocking us from being fully present as souls inside of these bodies. We release any curse that is preventing us from wanting to be souls fully operational inside of these bodies. I mean, you might as well clear the curses. Okay, chart 22, and then we'll probably start to wrap up. Chart 22. The Godhead is all, and all is the Godhead. Spirit, clear it. We're just, this is the looping chart. This is the chart that just says, like, you're probably stuck in a loop somewhere, somehow, and so we release everybody from that. And I would love for you, if you right now you feel like you're somebody who's looping and you're stuck inside of a loop, I would love for you to visualize yourself as a hamster getting flung out of the hamster wheel. And like watch yourself somersault out of that onto the soft, cushy little wood chips, and then watch yourself get up, shake it off, because that's what we do when we're doing somatic work, right? We got to get that trauma off of getting catapulted out of the hamster wheel. Shake it off, move your body, and then imagine yourself walking forward, doing something different. You're not getting back on the wheel. Go have a snack. Go to your little hamster little bowl with all of your yummy, nutritious snacks in it, all your favorite snacks. Grab a sip of water, and then like walk around. Go build a tunnel. Go build yourself a little nest. Go do something different other than getting back on the wheel, okay? That's all you gotta do. You gotta imagine it, you gotta visualize it, you gotta make the intentional decision to no longer get back on that wheel, because you don't wanna keep repeating these same loops and these same habits and these same patterns and these same curses over and over and over again. You are safe to come back into your body. And once you're back in your body, you have so much more control over what happens to you. You can be safe. You can be protected. You're not so vulnerable when you bring that soul back into your body. I promise you, you're actually way safer and way less vulnerable when you allow your soul to come back into your body and release yourself from all of that trauma that you went through. Oh, yeah. Okay. I want to visit with you. I don't want to end this clearing, because I just feel like there's a collective here that really needs some love and some attention, and I want to visit with you, but I also don't want to take up a whole bunch of your time. So we're going to do our replacement energies. We're saying we're doing 100% of 100% in mop up. Tolerance is what we're calling in. We're calling in love of self. Spirit, clear it. Amen. We're calling in harmony. Tolerance, love of self, and harmony are the energies that we're calling in for the collective today. If you need any additional support, I know, I want to hang out with you. If you need any additional support, please reach out. You can visit me at www.thepointedstone.com. You can book through my website. I have my contact number and all of my information on my website, so you'll be able to reach out to me. You can also send me a direct message on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I try to make myself present and available, because this work is life-changing and this work is so healing and so beautiful. And I promise you, if you have some sessions with me, even if you just watch these videos, your life can change. But part of that is your own willingness to get engaged, to get involved, to release yourself from the crap that you've been carrying. And again, to take the risk to come back into your body. Take the risk. Bring your soul back into your body now. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you, you can be safe and you can be okay. And there can be a whole lot of laughter and joy on the other side of what you've gone through. All right, everybody, thanks again for watching, for taking this time with me to do this work. It really is magical. And we will see you next time on another episode of Clearing with Kate.